Trying something a little new.
Hello, you rascally wampas. It's your boy, the Dadalorian. I am happy to be back here with my two best friends for another episode of Sith Happens. We got Matty Ice and we got Ant, otherwise known as Black Series Daily Desk, and I am not a committee on Instagram. How we doing, fellas?
Hello, I am Matty Ice, otherwise known as Black Series Daily Desk on Instagram, and Dank Farrick. Am I excited for tonight's episode? What a week we've had. First Star Wars movie trailer in since 2018.
It's been a long fucking time.
Official.
Long fucking time.
I know we're gonna get into it, but bless the maker. I am excited to talk about it. Hi, Howl Runner. We're talking about the trailer. You ready, bro?
Oh yeah. And
before we forget, I am Ant. I am not a committee on Instagram, and I too am. I'm really excited.
He's so excited he forgot that his Instagram name is I am not a committee. But
what did I say?
He said I am not a committee.
And then Hal Runner checking if Jen is ready as well.
You're both. Yeah, Hal Runner's checking if Jen is ready. She looks like she's typing over.
We gotta make sure our show producer is on her stuff.
Our studio producer is in and ready to go. All right, you want to just launch into this trailer? I am stoked.
Yes. So, for everybody listening and watching to the show right now, so we are going to, for those of you who have not seen this yet, spoiler warning, we are actually going to, all three of us have seen the trailer already, but we're going to watch it again here on the screen with you guys and kind of react as we go along, honestly, and then just get into it, talk about this. I've been looking forward to this for the last 2 days, guys. After it dropped, when it dropped, it was like fucking Christmas, to be completely honest.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and we'll get into it.
We actually refrained from really getting into it in our side chat, so this will be a good chat.
Refrained from getting into it, but we had some moments. But yeah, let's do, without further ado. A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, Eric was learning how to use our equipment.
Sort of.
It was a time of strife. Eric couldn't figure out which button to click. Okay, let's go.
All right, so we are here, and hopefully we have sound.
Oh, we do. All right. First and foremost, the new Razor Crest, phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. So interestingly enough, I think these are two different scenes because he's got the double binocular and the single on that. This is just great. I will take an Anzellan any day.
I love that we have the Anzellans again.
Same here.
Hey,
Ripley.
Ripley. Believe it or not, that's Ripley. And I mean, this is just wait. You said I would. We're starting to get dialogue.
Perfect. So what I like about it is it's showing us
a man.
This is the scene right here. Holy shit!
Oh yeah, that's so cool. I mean, that's
the one where he launches that guy across the room.
Oh yeah, well the Zeb thing, and then we got what is it? It's Stinky from the Clone Wars.
Rhoda.
Oh, and he got another armband because it blew up in the. He's got all his stuff back. Ooh.
Oh, that shot right there. That shot.
It's so cool. And I mean, we saw the leak trailer where he gets in the fight in one of those.
Yeah.
Which is awesome. And like you know.
Yeah.
And I love the logo and that it feels like a
1940s
adventure
that
movie.
It's given up here.
Forged.
Right? And for IMAX.
Exactly.
Good shot, baby.
And I love that the paintball comes back. I gotta say, the thing I'm most excited about before we get into it is all the new toys. You saw a Man from Return of the Jedi in that sewer where Grogu's swimming. I want one of him.
Yes.
And you know the big rumor that his main rival for whatever this mission is Embo. And
Yes,
Embo
I remember
is very
that.
high up on my Black Series figure list. I want that hat. I want to see him throw it with his wolf thing. But that's
And
I mean, what a trailer.
No, for real, man.
Yeah.
And honestly, so like so some of the initial things that came out of that trailer for me was just firstly, like, we are getting back to some of the OG Star Wars stuff in this with like less visual effects and more like practical puppet type of things. And I saw a lot of people who were like disappointed by that. Dude, like that right there is like the quintessential Star Wars feel for me.
That's what I was going to say
about
to
you guys.
It feels, I always say Rebels is my favorite, and that Zeb thing blew my mind. I took a photo, like I said, when we were just talking, that I posted. It was in our ad for this episode, just because I saw that. But Rebels, it feels like Star Wars. It is just unbridled joy of the original trilogy, and that's kind of what season 1 of Mando did. I love season 2, and you get all those side stories, not side stories, but like side entries to what could be other shows like Boba and Ahsoka. Fantastic.
Yeah.
But the first season of Mando, when you got done with that first episode, when it premiered, felt like Star Wars. And that's what this is. And we watched it yesterday. And when we saw Zeb swinging, Jen and I like squealed Zeb. We yelled like Grogu's talking. It was just phenomenal.
Yeah.
No,
and
I
really thought
excited. And I
go ahead,
totally
sorry.
About Mando. That Mando definitely is what reeled me back in for Star Wars. There was a period that a lot of us I didn't dislike it by any means, but having that Mando like totally brought me back in. And then the vibe of, like we were saying, like the poster for the movie, that is insanely cool as well, to how they set that up artistically speaking.
Oh yeah, no, and what's funny? I was thinking about, for a lot of people saw the leak trailer, and the opening of the leak trailer is a bunch of snowtroopers in that AT-AT, and Mando comes in and pulls like a 1 minute oneer of him doing some John Wick stuff. And in my mind, based on that trailer, I was like, the movie's going to start with him raiding an Imperial base for the rebels. But now we see this gladiator thing, we see all this stuff, and I'm like, where does the movie start? It's got to be a mission they send him on. So maybe that's the beginning, but it's kind of a weird thing where when I watch trailers for these, I try to piece them together in the movie. But the thing I keep thinking about is that's about like 1:05, and it's a 2.5 hour movie. So we are going to get so much more out of this, and I just can't wait. A part of me wonders if this will connect to Ahsoka season 2. I don't know how you guys feel about that. We got that Avengers movie coming at some point. The Star Wars. Avengers.
I definitely think that it could possibly connect into it. I'm not 100% sure on that. But going back, just like like how it feels from just this like minute trailer. Like, bro, this like I said it when I initially saw this, and I posted about it on Instagram. Like, this legitimately is going to be, like, in my opinion, the Star Wars cinema event of a generation.
Oh, I agree.
Yeah, Mando is what got a lot of us back into Star Wars. Like Ant was saying, I never disliked Star Wars. I just kind of like fell off and wasn't as into it for a long time, just because there was big gaps, and I wasn't a fan of the sequels. There's no secret about that. But when I saw Mando for the first time, brother, it clicked like that. And I think it was already out too. And I just straight binge watched the whole thing in like one night.
Oh, I mean, I used to stay up because it used to premiere on the East Coast at 3 a.m. I would have an alarm. I remember when it dropped, when Disney Plus was like the day Disney Plus came out. I got up at 3 a.m. because I was like, I'm not dealing with a lag or not being able to get in. And I watched it like 3 times in a row just to make sure that like I got to see it as much before work. And then at work, nobody had watched it. And I had one Star Wars friend at work, and he was just like, don't tell me anything. And I was like, hear me out. I'll cover your calls for an hour if you can go into a conference and watch it. And he refused to do it. But there's something about the cinematography. It's upscaled because it's a movie. And I think one of the hallmarks of the Star Wars shows, other than Andor, and to a degree, Ahsoka, is they don't look like they're quality enough to be a movie, but they're a way better quality than a TV show. So like on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being movie, 0 being nothing, they always fall at kind of like a 7.5, except for Andor, which is like a 10, and Ahsoka, which I'd put it like an 8.5. But this, like, it's like seeing something that felt so cinematic and seeing those AT-ATs, and what a way to end it. And the joke at the end, like there is this element, when the Force Awakens trailer came out, The Force Awakens came out, that awakened the Force in me. We always talk about that. That was my like re-entry into Star Wars, and I started watching Clone Wars and all that. But this, it's like a different feel. Like we've been waiting to see it in theaters. I mean, I will buy on StubHub IMAX tickets to go opening day. I want to go at like 9 a.m. The first day. And I'm super excited about like the experience and getting like Jen, who's our studio producer. We've never seen a Star Wars movie in theaters together, so it's going to be like a huge deal.
Yeah.
Howl Runner,
it is going to be a huge deal. I'm excited for you guys. That's going to be awesome.
Yep, I mean it's so cool. I wish it was coming out in October when I go to visit you in Michigan. But Howl Runner asked how much of the movie do we know is shot in the volume. I don't know, but I feel like probably it looks to me like a lot is shot in the volume. Probably again, they've just done a really good job of layering objects. I mean, if you think about it, like when you take a toy photo with a diorama. If the diorama is flat, you'll notice that and Howl Runner, I know that you take photos too. So just more for listeners, when the back of the dio is flat, you add objects in front of it to create that 3D element and obscure it. And they've continued to do a better and better behind Ann. That's a dio I got Ann for his birthday, everybody. It's the only one I don't have from Extreme Sets too, and it's always sold out. But anyway,
there's actually 3 dios combined.
To make the Dio of Ultron. But I think they've gotten much better at adding those objects in between. And one of the coolest things they did in the first season with the volume is the last episode or the second to last episode when they're shooting up the bar with the E-Web, that bar is in front of the volume, but there's nothing behind it. So they did a phenomenal job, and I think we're going to get a lot of that.
Yeah, I will say, as far as everything we've seen from this, as far as the cinematography of what it looks like, this goes right up on par with when I compare Star Wars movie cinematography, a lot of this compares to the prequel stuff for me, because like that is some of the stuff that was like the most probably the most memorable for me, and this is right up there. It's not as on grand scales like the Clone Army was and stuff like that, but the thing, like I said earlier, bringing like more of the puppets in and stuff, it's got that Return of the Jedi feel and stuff to it as well. So like I'm really, really stoked for this, to be honest with you.
And frankly, I think house, by the way, boys, go on it.
Hey, Aaron Anthony, what's up?
Drop something about the new trailer.
Awesome picture with Ahsoka recently. But yeah, at this point, with what we've seen, it all looks awesome, but we really don't have a whole lot of idea of who the bad guy is.
Yeah. Mando and Grogu, Howl Runner just said, has a budget of 166 million. So it's the least expensive Star Wars movie, but I think that's really cool. I think that honestly, one that helps them from a profitability standpoint. So it's going to make it more of a success depending on what it makes. But I think also with the volume and everything, and you have to remember it's Favreau. So he can make the first Iron Man feels like a much bigger budget than it was. And I think we're going to kind of get that energy from this. And I think so too. They decided to do this instead of a season 4, which I think was a great move, because I loved season 3, but I understand some of the complaints. And if we moved into a season 4 with Gideon gone, which I don't fully believe, with Gideon gone, with Gideon gone, it would have been either the same thing, like Gideon's back at the end, or they have to introduce this new threat, which may be tied to Ahsoka, and there's going to be all these side stories. I think this was a great idea. I think this hopefully connects to Ahsoka, and then Ahsoka gets us to that Avengers movie. And we know that the casting that they've, some of the leaks for Ahsoka, like Charlton Copley as the father, if that's real, it's awesome.
That's a big one, honestly.
It is. I mean, this is just one of those things this week that I think Star Wars fans of the world needed. The world's a weird place right now, and I don't want to get into that, but I think that Star Wars fans needed this little bit of joy, and like multiple moments. Like, I was a little under the weather yesterday, so I watched it on my couch. Jen and I put it on the real TV, and multiple moments we just yelled things out, and it was just so nice to have that feeling again. Really awesome. And I mean, he looks great, the Mando. I'm hoping you can't really see one of the cool things at the end of last season, I'm a blaster guy, is for some reason when he was fighting those 2 jet troopers, they had different blasters than anybody that happened to be the most badass looking blasters of all time. And the show closed because he lost his blaster when he was captured, with him, dual wielding and keeping those 2 blasters. So I'm really hoping he has those in this, because it makes it truly a Western.
I am too.
Yeah, he has.
So,
and I don't know if you've ever seen in a Western when they put him in their belt with the butts of the pistol drawn forward, so you can kind of do one of these, or like do a flip out. And I'm like, they have Brandon Wayne, who does most of the gun stunts on it. Like, it would be a waste to not have him do something cool with that as a gunslinger.
Oh, absolutely. So and one of the big things about that too that I love is I think it's got a very Jango Fett vibe to it as well, and that's something I think it gets a good nod to. So
the Django
that would have been legit. I'm kind of happy it didn't, in a sense, because I feel like that is just so quintessential to Django, honestly. Like, I'm happy that like they didn't do like Boba's blaster for him back then and everything, but it gives a very Django Fett vibe to it, and it's super cool, honestly. So
shout out to the sound effects editor on Attack of the Clones, which is like one of my least favorite Star Wars movies, but everything with Django, the seismic charge, and like Django is such a distinct character with all that, and like I think again that carries through to Mando, because Django's like the coolest Mandalorian. This is like the coolest Mandalorian. So it's just, listen, Boba's cool, but Mando a little different the way they've kind of panned them out. I love Book of Boba, I love Boba, but it's like it's just, I mean, this is what we're going to need. And the adventure movie vibe of the trailer and the poster and all of that, I think really kind of carries through the tone that, guys, this is Star Wars. This is fun.
And the thing with it too is like they've really stuck with the feel of Mando. They just brought it to the movie. Like the soundtrack is the soundtrack is the same song that we've been seeing on Mando for years at this point. And I love that they kept it, and they didn't try to like rebrand it with new music or something like that, and make it kind of feel like it wasn't Mando, because that, like, when you hear that like that, like you immediately think of Mandalorian, honestly. And it's go ahead.
I was saying, and the whistle is my like at the beginning, like that's the first thing you hear in the first episode. I get the chills doing it, and it's just shout out to Ludwig Göransson, won an Oscar for Oppenheimer, but that is like the thing that when he did it, I feel like all of us noticed him, and he killed it on Book of Boba Fett too. But the sound of the Mando, it's like this great, like Star Wars bombastic, but a little bit Western, but a little bit like
a little bit Western,
a little bit Western. I find it to be one of the more distinct and memorable themes.
Absolutely.
Some of the newer stuff they've done. Andor's good. I mean, Ahsoka's the Ahsoka theme, which is like phenomenal, but you can't count that. But since this, like, Book of Boba Fett's good, Andor's a good theme, but that's more like tonal. I feel like this really nails, without having Kevin Kiner, who's like John Williams Jr. Ahsoka was like a Super Bowl, which was probably the best Star Wars soundtrack I've ever heard outside of the OGs. But
it's definitely up there.
But this is way up there, and it's distinct. It is the character, which I think is when we had Artish here on, he kind of talked about how people mix up Star Wars, that it needs to be Star Wars, but a Western, not a Western that is Star Wars. And I think Mando especially nails that tone.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And then one of the things you brought up earlier too, that they didn't allude to really in this trailer, not that I saw, was Embo being the main villain. And I think so. One of the things is, he, to the standard Star Wars fan, like people who aren't like big and like huge into it like we are, they don't really know as much about that character as we do. And like that, like Embo is a gnarly bounty hunter.
Oh, he's a
like
badass.
That is. Yeah, like that is a hell of a villain to have in there, as far as like as a non-Empire type one, like him hunting Mando and Grogu, like that's going to be gnarly battles, and I'm really curious to see the way that goes. And honestly,
that's why I think the opening is the assault on the Imperial base, and because like you're not going to have Jeremy Allen White as a Hutt and not use him, and the rest is some kind of crazy mission against the Hutts, because then you can bring Embo in, and like I'm so curious what Embo looks like in live action. Like I'm assuming they'll give him Cad Bane treatment with like the prosthetic, but he's tall and skinny. He speaks Huttese. He has that like circular hat. Like, I mean, I know we're really speculating because nobody knows if this is true, but having Embo in this would really be a cherry on top of a very awesome experience.
It would be fun, and I mean, I don't know a ton about him either, other than his appearance really what you guys have said and what I've seen, but I need to.
In lore, he's a hell of a bounty hunter. I'm gonna say that. Like in the lore, he is a very deadly bounty hunter.
Huh. All right. So then, in theory, like you just kind of alluded, it would be a lot of him going after Mando.
That's this rumor. I think I mean, I'm good with any storyline. I kind of think I'd appreciate it if it was more something like that, because we know about the Imperial Remnant. We know he's hunting the Empire. I feel like maybe that's a tag or something, but having like a self-contained Mando movie for the most part, if they want to bleed it into setting up Ahsoka, that would be awesome. But a self-contained Mando movie is really fun. And I think especially for people that just watch Mandalorian, right? Because you can just watch Mandalorian and get what's going on. For sure. People that just watch Mandalorian, it'll be a treat. And if Disney's smart, they'll protect that a little bit, because that's where Marvel kind of started to go awry. And I think a lot of what they're saying about course correcting, some of it starts here.
Sure.
Yeah, I definitely, I can agree with that. Absolutely. And I definitely don't want to see it go the direction like Marvel did. Like I still enjoy the stuff Marvel had put out, honestly, but like after Endgame, it just really fell off for me, more or less. And I don't want to see that for Star Wars. I don't see it really happening, honestly. Like any Star Wars is going to be good Star Wars for me for the most part, honestly. But yeah,
well, I think part of the Endgame problem was, you know, they set up. I'm not going to talk about Marvel all night, but they set up a universe that it was so incredibly amazing and had these characters that were so well developed, but they had to build it to something. And
absolutely,
the story has to have a conclusion, and you know, people love it so much they want it to continue. I think part of the issue is that people build these things up in their heads, so that hype, you know, they want it to be the next Endgame. They want it to be. Nothing's going to ever be Endgame. Endgame is Endgame. You know,
it's like they ended it too well.
Clean slate.
I think
we have the same characters, or maybe some similar characters in our case, but it's a new story. So, you know, try not to compare it to other stuff so much, because, as they say, comparison is
the thief of joy.
Stupid.
Yeah. Or that. But anyways, I think to your point, Marvel could end it at Endgame. I think the Spider-Man movies after, and I like Shang-Chi and some like Loki, but other than that, I was out. This, if the Mandoverse in this time period is truly building to this, like, you know, movie, that should be it for this time period, and then we move on. And I think they're going to do that with Starfighter. Like, we're moving, like I said, we need to move out of the timeline. So Hal Runner said, I'm going to play devil's advocate. The movie has a lot going on. I thought it was hunting down Imperial warlords, but we have bounty hunters and Hutts as potential antagonists as well. And yeah, that's what we were saying, Hal Runner, I think just now, is that I would be refreshed by that, because we get a lot of, and I mean, look at my photo page, there's a lot of kicking Imperial ass. It'd be cool to have a self-contained kind of adventure that maybe ties to the Empire towards the end and bridges us into a show without, you know, having to like rely on the show to get a conclusion. And I'm hoping that's where they go with it. But at the same time, like, this movie just looks like such a great adventure that I would be completely cool with it just being a continuation of fighting the Empire.
It could be almost like how they've done some of the episodes of Mando too, where the initial tie-in is to the storyline of the Empire. You know, this assault on the base on the snow, wherever the hell the snow planet is. Essentially, it goes into the stuff where Embo is trying to take out Mando and Grogu after being hired by Imperials, Hutts, whatever it is, and like that's like the main storyline right there. And then the end kind of ties it into, at that point, back to the Imperial side with Ahsoka and the end game, so to say, going into Heir to the Empire and what they do with that from there.
Yeah, I agree. That could be really cool.
So I think that could be a very. I think that's definitely potential.
Before.
And you will again.
So I like that. And here's how you end it. Yeah, I'm going to mention it again. If you guys
don't leave us hanging.
But the movie ends on some way, some sort. Thrawn blasting back into our universe.
I agree. I think that would be awesome.
But the thing, I mean, it's a little bit of a taste, and then maybe go back into it, and then you see it one more time before the end. You know, something like that. I think that would be awesome, because Mando's obviously going to be a part of whatever is happening here. He can't. How could he? Yeah. It's happening simultaneously. It's happening side by side.
Yes. So Mando season 3 is concurrent to Ahsoka, because remember when they're in hyperspace, Grogu sees the Purgle. That's the Purgle that's taking Ahsoka to Peridia. So it could match up. This would just have to be like a couple weeks after the finale, which would be perfect. I think that like that's a great call, and I could see that happening. And that's a cool, because you can resolve this issue, I think, like whatever the issue of the movie is, and then you get to the post credits and you see like Maul, in hyperspace, or maybe on Dathomir. We get a little taste of that, which would be excellent. But yeah, and I mean, think about this: Sigourney could be in Ahsoka, which I love. I'm just living for Ahsoka. Yep. I'm so stoked for Mando.
I definitely think she could play a part in Ahsoka. So they revealed her character's name was Colonel. I think it was Colonel Bishop. Which, firstly, Bishop, a nod towards aliens.
Well, now we've had Drake be the guy who gets killed by I'm not a Jedi.
Bale Skull.
Yeah, you got Hicks, who is the mercenary in the Ahsoka episode. So there's China Ahsoka to aliens, and I'm for it.
I'm all for it, dude. Aliens was like, in my opinion, one of the greatest movies of all time.
Show, by the way, is my second favorite thing in that entire franchise after Aliens. But
I need to get on that then.
Yeah, it is the prequel we deserved. But yeah. Anyway, undeserved. I think this was the trailer we deserved, and it was awesome. I don't have much else to say on my end.
I think you said it earlier too, man. With all this shit going on in the world right now, I tell you what, man, I needed it. In all seriousness. But I'm super stoked for this. The one last thing I'll hit before we go too much into collector's and stuff like this, the one thing I really loved about the trailer was at the very end with Grogu with the wrist blaster.
Oh yeah,
because it shows he's been training. All right, so Mando took him on as his apprentice, and he's really been, I was curious to see kind of like how they would do that because of how small he is.
Yeah.
Him not like being, like as he's got his force presence and everything, but how is he going to train as a Mandalorian? And I think that showed it right there that Mando's training him on all the weapon systems, or at least, ones that he can use now as a apprentice to him. So that I thought was really cool.
Yeah, that looks badass. I think I think my favorite part of the trailer would be what appears to be a bar when he just fucking launches that across the room with that kick, and then Grogu just out of nowhere is on his shoulder. Like, what an epic scene! I can't wait to see what that is tied into.
He's come a long way from the pram.
Yeah. To punctuate it, this whole conversation, I think the first season of Mando was him gaining his humanity, and he kind of lost a little bit of his ruthlessness. Second season, it's like a mid-level of that. And third season, when you get to the end of the third season, he's full on like a Mandalorian honorable guy. And I think they're going to bring back a little of that ruthlessness, because now he's bounty hunting and kicking Imperial ass. So I'm stoked for it. And if anybody can find that leaked trailer, you can watch that scene we keep referencing where he John Wicks a room of snowtroopers. Hopefully,
it's gnarly. It's awesome. Absolutely gnarly.
All right, boys.
All right, man. Well, everybody who joined in, thank you for joining us for our talk about the Mandalorian and Grogu trailer. As you can tell, the three of us are absolutely stoked for this. Lucasfilm, if you're watching, please invite us. Anyways, moving on. We got our
go. I mean, I'd accept.
Yes, 100%. Yeah, I think I'm open that week, guys. But anyways, we're gonna move into collector's corners, guys. I'm sure my two friends here got something fun to show off, so we're gonna go ahead and Matt, why don't you take the floor first and show us what you got, man?
Well, this is what I was most excited about in the trailer.
If I can figure out the screens. Hold on.
Also, Halrunner, I see that you said that a lot of the deep cuts, your sister was lost. I think it'll just be fun when it's all in context. But with that said, a semi-deep cut is my collector's corner figure. I took a picture of him last night, posted it because I was so stoked about that scene. I didn't know what to show today, and Jem was like, "Are you stupid? Show him." It's my main man, Zeb Aurelius. So I don't think we've ever shown this figure. It is, candidly, when Rebels started, it's the Black Series Zeb. The portrait, they tried to make them all look a little more real when they did the initial Black Series.
I noticed that.
And they look great. I actually loved it. And I think that this figure, so I first got it as a completionist. Zeb on the early seasons was not my favorite. I didn't hate him. Found him kind of a little bit annoying, and I liked everybody else. As time went on, you really learned to love Zeb. And when, spoiler alert, Kanan dies, I thought Zeb might not make it out. And there were a couple hairy moments there at the end, fighting Rook in the generator and all of that, and getting his battle with him. But this figure has grown on me. I've used it a lot lately, even before the trailer. It's just such a cool figure, and I love that the what do they call it, the boson or whatever? It like comes apart. I mean,
something like that.
It comes down into the blaster portion. You can. I'm having a hell of a time doing it on camera, but you can take the the electricity out, and then he can hold it as a blaster like he does in the show, which is like super cool, like touch there. And he holds it really well, even though there's like these small things just based on the way you can cradle it.
That's pretty intricate for an older Black Series, very honestly.
Yeah, this mold is like, you know, kind of when they were getting better, it holds up. I mean, it's just, I remember when I got him, when he came out, and I pre-ordered him, it really was one of the moments where I started liking the character a lot more.
Yeah.
Because I just really got into the figure. And then as the show goes on, you know, Zeb is one of the hearts of the show. And I loved seeing him in Mando. And I also love that they saved him for this, because they introed him into Mando.
Yeah.
He's still doing that thing on the Outer Rim. I'm dying to know what he's been flying, because he's gigantic. Yes. If he's flying with the Rangers. But just him in the Razor Crest in the leak trailer, and then seeing him kick some ass here. I'm stoked. And this figure, like, really, the minute I saw that, I was like, I got to take a picture of Zeb. So that's not only my favorite.
I'm really glad you did, because that picture is awesome.
I'm so stoked.
That came out fantastic, by the way. If you I'll link it.
I still love it.
Yeah. To see the photo, go ahead and check out his Instagram of the Sith Happens one. We actually got it on all of our pages right now with a little collab we did to celebrate Mando and Grogu trailer.
You have all our photos. But that's my collector's corner, boys.
That's awesome.
Hell yeah.
That was a good one. Yeah.
I like that. Ant, why don't you head next, brother?
Yeah, I too was a little stumped at what to go with tonight, but I went with another not too old, but I'd say oldie but goodie. That's good old Boba Fett.
Nice. You inspired me to buy that figure, the Python Boba Fett.
I know.
And I was watching that episode tonight, but you got that, and I was like, I can't be outdone. So that was an arms race with Ant. And I love that figure. Single use for photos, but worth it.
Well, that was such a weird one to get to, because, like, and Matt, I know you don't have Walmart like stuff in.
Legit.
I was just gonna say it was a weird one to get, because, like, I never saw it in stores, but then randomly it went for sale on Walmart, for like $6.
Yeah, it was crazy.
That's where I got it too.
Got it in store, or you got it online, and then you sent me the link, and I pounced.
I love that it comes with this jetpack.
Yes.
And for some reason, I don't know what it is, and I don't mind throne room Boba, but I like this one so much more. And I think it might just be the worn armor. I think that's so much cool of a cooler look.
I think so as well. I used the other one in a photo this week, and honestly, I was like, I kind of wish I used the other one.
I love Throne Room Boba, but I want the Book of Boba Fett Boba, and that like completely different outfit. And it makes me nuts that TVC got it and we didn't. But yeah,
I know. I almost want to just buy the TVC one and pose it appropriately.
I'm close to just buying myself for my birthday the $140 SH Fig Arts one that has the interchangeable heads on it and the cloth bottom. That'd be maybe my birthday present to be this year. I'll bring it. I'll bring it to you when we do it.
Please do. No, this figure, I think it's a good one. I was recently taking some pictures with it, and spoiler alert, I haven't posted it yet, but I took a picture with him and Captain Phasma.
And I've been really experimenting with mixing eras lately.
Because, well, here's the thing, is that Boba Fett is alive when we see him last in Book of Boba Fett, right? So why couldn't he be alive in the sequel time period?
Like 60 or 70, because remember, clones age quickly. So like he's only
he's an unaltered one. Don't forget.
So yeah, he'd probably, but he became a boy quickly. So I feel like probably in like his 60s or 70s. So yeah, he could definitely be that. And the redamaged battle armor, like he's been going through it and lost stuff on Tatooine, is a very cool story that I love. So I'm very into where you went with that.
It's gonna be fun. And so I'll do one more spoiler, because I'm really excited about how it turned out. So keep an eye out when you see the picture. Eventually, I'll have to post it soon. I have him like shooting out his little rope out of his.
Oh yeah.
I don't know what it's called officially, but
salvo
out of his little wrist area there. And Phasma's like standing there, and she's tied up, right? So the idea actually came to me. Matt and I were just talking about this. How like oftentimes I don't really ever have an idea. I have a figure, and then I just kind of whatever pops into my head in the moment. So I'm thinking, like, how can I make this happen? And what I did was there was this long grass next to me, and I took it and I wrapped it around her.
Oh, okay.
And then I used the app I use, Lightroom, to just highlight just that color. And then I turned that color like a gray color to match, and then I just edited in an additional rope piece. But it turned out really well. I don't think that you would be able to tell if you didn't know that. So just for you guys and whoever else is watching, little fun fact when you see that photo.
Love it.
Stoked for that one, man. So
all right, top those, Eric.
I don't know. I feel like mine's pretty good, honestly. It's a little bit newer, but not like excessively new. And it does correlate into Mando and Grogu, because one of the rumors of Mando and Grogu is we are getting Death Watch, like actual Death Watch, to come back into Mando and Grogu, and it's this guy.
Nice. Try to stand.
I know this.
I have not had.
Right.
Yep. Like that.
Yeah,
so it's not been the worst. Like, so I do a lot of my shots like outside. So if I hook it on something, it's not too bad. But like, it definitely has posability issues compared to the other stuff. But what it lacks in posability, it makes up for it in the details and everything. One of the things I love about it is the different jetpack.
That was the first thing I noticed when I got it. It's so cool. And the helmet, I gotta say though, man, I don't love the old Mando body mold, but the way you have that posed in the light, that looks way more epic than I feel like mine looks. Like,
it's not bad. Like,
it's really something else.
I'm trying to take the helmet off too now. So like, so I mean, I feel like it's got potential. Like, I got the day off from work tomorrow, so I'm actually gonna like take this out and see if I can like do something with it. Honestly, like,
dude, you think it is that our grapes with the figure? You'll never see those grapes in the picture.
Yeah, in the pictures, because
it'll be our stress, our sweat, on the figure that everyone else thinks is just water droplets. But
exactly.
As us posing,
and also,
don't worry for your
one of the things with this that I'm actually super stoked, and I don't know if the OG Jango Fett body had it, which this was molded off of, is that it's got the double blaster fingers. So, and a lot of the ones nowadays don't have that. Okay,
it did. They're correcting that a lot though. Like the Rex Phase 1 figure has double blaster fingers. I feel like that was kind of a silly move with the old figures, but that mold does have the double. Well, I mean, we're getting the new Jango Fett, so that figure looks great. So,
I can't wait for that
the new
one.
Standard, but I am so excited for that figure too.
Yeah. But that's mine. Honestly, like I haven't done much with this since I got it out of the box and everything like that. It's actually it's been sitting at the back of like my shelf where all my action figures are. And I was like, the other day I was like, oh, let me try something out with it. And I mean, it's much better than what I thought it was going to be, honestly.
Yeah. Frankly, I've taken some of my favorite photos with that figure, so you're gonna have some fun.
I've only done one. I gotta maybe do some. Maybe
seriously though, Matt, I don't have any of the longer stands like Eric has there.
Yeah,
I can't reach him from here, but I have him sitting on the shelf because that fucker fell over so many times that he kept knocking everybody over.
For anybody that knows how to edit things out, I will show this really quickly as we close Collector's Corner. So these are great. They're called hex stands. They're not expensive. You get like 6 for $20.
Mm-hmm.
They look like this. They have the foot peg there. And one of the so you can display or use them to pose, but one of the really cool things is when you have shelves, it's hard to see everybody. So the stands modularly fit in this little base, so you can make some figures taller than others. Which is really cool. So I will recommend that if you're trying to I know how to edit them out of photos.
Does a base come with the little pack
you can buy that with the base. I bought like a sample base when I got these as like a bonus, but I need to get more. But I think like it's one of those things that it's one of those things that like if you know how to remove things in photos, like Ant, I know you and I do. Eric, I think you probably do now. But it's a great way to get make a figure look like and all that. Like it's really cool.
Nice.
Yeah,
I'll have to look into those.
All right. Well, to finish off quick before we say goodbye, we do got to give a little bit of a shout out here to our boys at SaberMax. And given what we're talking about here today with Mando, I figured we'd have to show this one off, especially because I have it. And it's going to be the Dark Saber. Now, obviously, it's a little bit scrunched up from its time with Bo-Katan and Moff Gideon. But honestly, guys, I have this one, and I'll show it to you here in just a minute as well, so you can see it on screen as opposed to the photos. This actually might be one of my favorite sabers I have, and I got several of them. The thing, it's got the weight. Yeah,
you're gonna send Ant and I the next two you get, for the love of God.
I think it was you said it last time. I was like, if you win another saber, get another saber. You better send me that shit. So,
yeah, especially if it's a Luke saber from Jedi. Anyway,
but yeah. So the dark saber, it's an amazing one. I'll show it off here in a minute, but SaberMax also has a really dope thing going on right now. So they got their pre-Halloween sale happening. If you order by September 29th, for guaranteed delivery before October 30th, there's going to be 13% off all orders above $150. In addition to that, there's going to be a free gift for all orders above $200. So one of the free gifts I got was the lighted lightsaber stand that I showed previously. It's really great.
That's cool.
You get one free mystery saber for all mystery box sabers or orders above $400, and then 2 free lightsabers for selected master collection sabers. So that's some of the more high-end ones. And to kind of just give you guys a quick little visual, so to say, to see this one before we God damn, I'm still trying to figure this thing out. It's been a while since we've been on the show. Excuse me here. So here is the dark saber hilt. So I don't have this the blade installed in this one, just because I actually keep this on a special custom stand that I got from SaberMax, which I'll show that off too, because it's really sick. This is honestly like one of the pinnacles of my collection. This and my Survivor are really my 2 favorites, honestly.
Nice. Survivor,
yeah, awesome. It is. And then this is the custom stand that they sent me. I might be a little let me try not to glare it, but it's customized stand that they did for me. And like I said, guys, I love this saber so much. The sound, the look, the feel, it's everything you need in a dark saber. And that wraps us up, boys. So before we go anywhere else, guys, we wanted to say thank you so much for joining us and hanging out with us tonight as we got to break down and talk about the Mandalorian and Grogu trailer. The 3 of us are obviously stoked for this, and you can catch us talking more about this on all of our platforms. Go check us out on @Sith Happens _Star Wars podcast on Instagram. And on there, you'll find the link tree, which has a link to all of our various links, such as Amazon Music, Spotify, as well as this YouTube that you guys are on. And with that, I want to just say thank you and to pass it off to our boys here as we say goodnight for the night. Ant, why don't you go ahead and lead us off?
Hey, I'm Ant. I am not a committee on Instagram. Follow me there. See my photos. Good job. I like to take them. You see my figures here. It was great talking with you guys tonight. Thank you, as always. And yeah, this trailer is gonna be sick. I'm pumped to see where it goes. I hope we don't get a ton of more like trailer action. Honestly,
we won't for a while.
I want to know. I want to have
a
surprise. And the more trailers, the more speculation, the more what you want to happen doesn't happen, and you're disappointed. But it was great speculating with you guys.
Awesome. And I will say I am Matty Ice, otherwise known as Black Series Daily Desk on Instagram. Check out my photos as well. I collaborate with these 2 gentlemen often, especially I am not a committee. And I am happier than a guy on Canto Bite winning the jackpot over this trailer. So the last thing I'll say is I have friends everywhere, and may the force be with you always.
And guys, I'm Eric Dadalorian. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. You can catch me on Instagram @the _Dadalorian _, and this is the way.